What's up, everybody? This is Sound Off with Sticks. I am Keith Sticks, owner of Tsunami Cables, and today on the podcast, I've got my beautiful wife. Hi, baby.
Hi. I'm Leilani, for all of you that don't know me.
Yeah. And today we're going to be talking about the Tsunami Cable family.
Yes, our beautiful Tsunami family. So obviously it's not our children, but
No.
it is, what is it? What's the Tsunami family?
It's our artist, so I know you know that.
I do.
Yeah. So the Tsunami family is what I call our artist roster. Our family is our group of artists that use our products and support us. And that's pretty much, in a nutshell, in a basic nutshell, that's what the family is.
So where did that concept come from?
The concept really, I think, came more from my parents than anything. Coming from a family business, my parents own their own business. I grew up in that business, and then of course, just having my own business, wanting to have something like that. Whenever they were back in the day when they were, really thriving and doing a lot of stuff with their business, a lot of deals and certain things like that were dealt with, a handshake and somebody's word, and it didn't have to involve, 10 pages of a contract and lawyers and all this
And
kind
your
of
blood
crap.
and a DNA.
Right, yeah, exactly, everything else. So, my perspective was kind of to try to get back to some of that. And, even for instance, to this day, we don't have a contract for the Tsunami family. I have, in order to become a Tsunami artist, we have a online application that you can fill out. It's on our family page at the very bottom. There's a PDF that you can basically fill out and submit right there on the website, and that kind of gets the ball rolling. And but it's not a contract. We don't do any kind of binding contracts where you're an artist for 5 years and you have to use the product and all that kind of stuff. Basically, it's just to show support of the company and what we do, and
To just show that you're a part of it.
yeah, absolutely. Because my perspective is that I want people that are going to be a part, that people that want to be here. I don't want to, if someone wants to move on and go to a different company and do something, I'm always totally okay with that. I don't have a problem with that. A lot of times, I prefer, and we've had a few different artists that have, had other companies that are going to pay to put them in magazines or do something more for them, or even we've had artists that are in a different country, and that cable company happens to be in the country they are, so it's just easier for them,
Yeah.
which makes a lot more sense. And so they've, a lot of the artists, I won't say their name, but in particular that I'm thinking of, came to me and said, hey, this is the situation, this is what I've got going on. And, I wished them all the best of luck, and that was it. And it was no big deal.
There's no hard feelings.
No.
There's definitely a sense of respect there.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Because, I again, at the end of the day, I'm an artist, and I want to treat my artist the way I would want to be treated as a company, from a company.
Exactly. And it's interesting to see the dynamics of the family from my perspective.
Mhm.
Obviously I'm not an artist, I'm not a musician, any of that stuff, I'm just your wife.
Yeah.
So just seeing that dynamic of like people coming up to you and be like, oh my gosh, I want to be part of the family, like what can I do?
Mhm.
And wanting to be part of that, I guess club per se,
Yeah.
wanting to have the shirt and everything that we do every year.
Mhm.
It's really cool, and it's not just about, the name. I think it's more about knowing that at the end of the day, you're gonna have their back regardless of what happens.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And, and that, it is, it is surprising, the amount, how many people that we have currently on the artist roster, or in the family, I should say, and the amount of people that we always get hit up by, and to do that. And, it is, it's always interesting. And what's interesting, I think, to me is, as far as on a company side goes, I don't have an issue. We have artists that are big and small. We have artists that are on, national and international touring acts that are touring all over the world and doing all sorts of stuff, to artists that are playing the local bar on a Saturday night, And I think people look at that, and I think people would say, yeah, but the guy that's touring around the world is going to do more, and it's not necessarily true, because a lot of times the smaller artists, you know, are more out there and doing stuff on a public level to be able to show off the product and are more attainable. You know, I mean, you can't go to Slash and say, not that he uses our stuff, but you know, not, you know, and go
Not
to
yet.
him. Yeah, not yet.
He'll be here.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, exactly. But you can't go to him and ask him about his cables unless you know him, right?
Exactly.
So, you know, where somebody who's playing, you know, local bar or whatever, it's a little bit easier to go up and talk to them and actually see what's going on. So, yeah, I mean, we have, like I said, we have all sorts of artists, all different genres, styles. When I first started the company, being kind of a hard rock metal guy myself, we really.
I remember those days.
Yep. we hit, you know, the metal scene pretty hard, and we had a lot of metal guitar players and that kind of thing. And a large part of that, I believe, was due to the durability of the cables, the fact that they could beat them up and they could stomp on them and jump off stage and, you know, blood and all sorts of craziness.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
Beer,
Yeah.
piss, whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So all that stuff, and that, you know, really kind of lend itself to that crowd. And we still have a lot of those guys even still to this day that are using the products. And then recently we really hit it home with a lot of the bass player market because of the tonality and what they're getting and the clear tone that they're getting out of the cables. And so I mean, we have, like I said, everything from bass, guitar, keyboards, to vocalists, to DJs, to spoken word artists, to, you know, basically anything you could possibly think of.
Bands.
Yeah, full bands. Marching bands, yeah, we've done that too, absolutely. You know, and
they're all part of the family.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's there, tattoo artists.
Yep, absolutely.
So, you know, we really do cater to a lot of different, you know, groups, a lot of different people. And yeah, and I love them. I mean, it's not, I'm very, I have no problem in saying that we would not be where we are today if it wasn't for the family. I mean, if it wasn't for their support.
I completely agree with that. I know not many people know this, but a few years ago, you almost called it quits.
Yeah.
It was about 2016, I think it was.
Yeah.
Bass Player Live.
Yep.
You were ready to just be like, that's it. This is the end of it. And I remember, you know, us driving out to dinner and you saying like how everybody was so receptive, how everybody was just like a family and very supportive of you. That gave you the kick in the ass to continue the company.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And not many people know that.
Right. Yeah, well, and it's, you know, I mean, most people know at least that starting, you know, having your own company and being a small company is not easy. You know, it's definitely difficult, it's definitely hard. And, you know, and the struggles you go through and the constant grind and everything else. I mean, at that point, we were already, into the company?
8 years?
8 years, you know what I mean, doing that. And so that, you know, the grind of that, you know, trying to make things work and, you know, constantly forking out money and, you know, putting things in and having to work multiple jobs to be able to afford just to be able to not only live and provide, but also be able to provide the company and make sure the company has what it needs to be able to keep moving forward and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was, you know, a rough year. It wasn't easy. And, you know, at that point in time, you know, the one instance I know you're thinking about and that I'm thinking about too was we were coming into Bass Player Live that morning, and for whatever reason there was like an auto race or there was something on the freeway.
No, a tree fell in the middle of the freeway.
That's what it was. Yeah,
and
it was
we got
a tree. Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, we got stuck in LA traffic, you know, big surprise. And so we were like an hour late to opening the show at you know, Bass Player Live. And you know, I came running into the show to see, you know, where my booth was. And two of our artists, Jake Eckelman and Tony Puleo, were both like literally like sitting in the booth playing and just like kind of having a good time, and they're just like kind of, what up, man, how's it going, you know, kind of thing. And that kind of hit home, was just like, even though like I, you know, was late and couldn't make it,
they opened everything up.
Yeah, they made everything happen, and they kind of got everything going, and you know, kind of just took charge and made it happen. And you know, yeah, it was a, you know, heart-wrenching moment.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was definitely some tears were shed that night, and you know, the family was created.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely. So that's pretty much a little history on the Tsunami family, and we have some more videos coming up, so stay tuned.
Okay.